Warning. The following fanfic reading is for mature audiences only. It contains explicit language and sexually suggestive themes such as innuendos and adult jokes. Viewers' discretion is advised. On a Cross and Arrow, written by Connor Cogwork. Chapter 6, Through a Stitch in Time.
It's been hours!
Come on, Dusk. It's been hours.
I know.
Twilight replied to the tired Pegasus, right at the same time her male double outside voiced the same words. Every pony inside the hedge cringed once more. This had not been the first time that this had happened today, and it still freaked them out whenever it happened. Most of all, Twilight herself. The two searching members had been going up and down the tree line along the Everfree Forest, inspecting every nook and cranny they could find. They hadn't found anything yet, but for some reason, they always wound up right around the circle of bushes at the end of every string.
What is it about this place anyways?
Spines complained, eyeing the mass of shrubbery.
I don't really get why we keep coming back here.
Neither do I, if you want my honest opinion. I don't know. I don't feel anything off about this area, and yet I'm drawn, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, Twi, y'all wouldn't happen to be feeling funny right now, would you?
You mean, besides the scribbling sense of fear that I got right this moment?
The unicorn replied, stress making her snappish, if quietly so. The farmer pressed on.
Tell me, Surecube, what's the fear feel like?
Drawn?
Spines asked her friend, raising an eyebrow.
Surely you're not feeling something?
Like a knot in my stomach?
Pinkie Pie crossed off another mark on her forehoof. It was up to 15.
Oh, I don't know, Spines. I'm just rather frustrated. We've been out here all day, and not a single sign of a pony.
There was a rustle as Dusk planted his haunches.
I'm tempted to do something rather deconstructive, but that wouldn't look very good on the next friendship report, would it?
Speaking of which, you've not sent one for a few days now. Maybe you should, ask for some help?
No, Spines, I need to do this. I mean, the implications are staggering. Doppelganger ponies, interdimensional twins? I have my suspicions, but seriously, what do they want? Do they plan on replacing us, or are they going to invade? And if so, invade what? I need to know.
Oh, Dusk, you can't know. It's for your own good. 16? What? That one didn't count!
The lavender mare let her eyes direct downwards. Friendship reports. She couldn't send any to her mentor, as long as she was trapped in this world. But now, her being trapped here was apparently driving her stallion self to forgo his own in his quest for the intruders. What would his prince think? What would Celestia think?
I'll write a report as soon as I get back.
The party pony whispered, marker in her mouth fumbling about. A stretch of quiet came. The only noise passing through was gentle breathing. Finally, there was more rustling.
They can't really be hiding in there, can they? Those bushes are too thick.
I don't know. I've seen some of Butterscotch's friends get into some pretty tight spaces.
There's a thought. Let's get Butterscotch and some of his friends, see if they can't find something off about this hedge. Maybe there's like a rabbit warren or something inside.
A slow lifting of yellow wings signaled that Fluttershy was okay with this plan.
Well, we're not getting anything done hanging around here.
The purple stallion suddenly exclaimed as he hefted himself to all fours.
Let's go check the Patch of Zircon's hut. Maybe they've got it set up there.
Yo-ho! Hey, Brony!
The new voice caused every pony inside the hedge to jump, and for one of those ponies to give a glare at the ceiling.
Coach Critter!
Quickly, but silently, Rainbow Dash, Applejack, and Twilight crawled towards the entrance, getting a look outside. Lucky for them, Dusk, Spines, and Rainbow Blitz were in full and clear view, the Pegasus stallion quickly zooming in.
Hey, Blitz, what's up?
The male unicorn asked, his mood improved somewhat by a familiar face.
I'll tell you what's up. Something big.
Blitz replied as he slowed down and hovered in front of his friend.
Ooh, sugar cakes.
Applejack whispered, her green eyes wide as she sighted the blue stallion.
Twi, remember when I was talking about how a gal's heart goes pity-pat the other day?
Yeah, I remember. Why?
The apple farmer's face had a new addition to it, a crimson line of a blush.
'Cause I think my heart's doing that pity-patting right now. You make a damn fine stallion, Rainbow.
Hey! You crushing on my clone! That's just weird! Girls, quiet! They're talking!
Another one?
Yeah, another one. She's called Rarity, and she's a dead ringer for Elusive. She's at Carousel Boutique. I've got Lucy keeping her there. Not that I had to try very hard. They were practically tripping all over each other.
You're kidding.
Nope. You want to know how I found out? Apparently, I pushed my nap cloud right into the sunbeam they were using to ask for Prince Solaris' blessing.
Oh, God.
Now the purple stallion was massaging his forehead with a hoof.
Butterscotch was bad enough, but this? Blitz, this is not looking good for the dimensional continuum as a whole.
If you mean the universe is gonna explode if they kiss, then we're probably already too late. I think they were making out the moment I left. Ugh.
The dragoness practically had steam coming out of her ears. Was the only reply that the Pegasus got, as Dusk suddenly broke into a gallop, heading off back towards town.
At least one in the hoof is worth two in the bush. Hurry, Blitz. We might still have time.
As the trio disappeared into the distance, they heard Spines crying out,
I'm coming to save you, hon!
Every pony waited for a minute. When it became obvious that the coast was clear, Twilight found herself hopping to all four hooves.
Hurry, girls! We might still have time! 18!
Not now, Pinky! We all need to pony up and go see Birdie before she goes and does something stupid!
Twilight!
Dash gaped, wings flapping at the air.
If meeting ourselves and touching each other didn't make us disappear, do you think that you know?
Her face was reddening just thinking about it.
I have no idea! I never once read a theory about the end of all time and space being brought about by two of the same ponies from different dimensions having sexual intercourse!
The student's ears were burning as she said the words, but she had no idea how else to say it, despite how ridiculous it sounded.
At least, I don't think I have.
We need to rescue her, if not from herself.
Fluttershy quipped, a look of determination gracing her features.
Then at least from our other selves.
Okay, stop panicking!
Twilight told herself, her eyes shut in concentration for a second.
Okay, Rainbow Dash, fly to the boutique at full speed, as low to the ground as you can go. Introduce yourself as... Whoa, wait up! Speed, I can do fine, but this Elusive guy is probably gonna ask questions if he sees me. I need disguise, and it's pretty damn hard to try and disguise this.
She ran a hoof through her mane of colors.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Right. New plan. Rainbow, take, Fluttershy. She's the lightest of us all. We'll get her disguised, and she'll do the talking. Sound good?
There were nods all around.
Good. Okay. Fluttershy, where's that makeup kit?
The Butter Pegasus opened her mouth as if to say something, but closed it as a look of realization came over her.
Rarity took it with her.
Twilight face hoofed again. It was becoming an unhealthy habit, her forehead told her.
Okay. Any pony here got any kind of markers or dye on them that isn't black? Any pony? Any pony? Time's a wasting here.
I'm sorry, Twi.
Applejack hoofed on the ground.
I can offer my hat again, but I've got no coloring stuff on me.
Dash shook her own head.
Sorry, Twilight. This rainbow doesn't wash out. I've never had a need for dyes here.
I'm sorry, Twilight. I left my crayons back in my cottage in our world. Though, I bet if we asked, I got some coloring.
This last one came from a perpetually happy pink pony who was currently bouncing in place without a care in the world. She was swiftly surrounded.
Pinky, you're a lifesaver. Let's see it. We need to get Fluttershy into it quick.
The mistress of pie reached her head into the pink fluff of her tail before withdrawing from it. A simple box of tubes. 4 tubes, in fact. Green, red, yellow, and blue. The student found herself sighing as she recognized the package.
It makes sense. This is Pinky we're talking about. But it'll still work.
Pinky? What the hey is that?
Pinkie Pie proudly opened the box, taking out the blue tube.
Food coloring!
As Rarity poured up the steaming pot of broccoli into a strainer, she found something tickling her consciousness. She had forgotten something. But what? Oh, she was well aware of the predicament that she was in. The bottle of sunflower oil was still in her neck bag, which was resting on a coat hanger in the workshop. She knew that a few hours had passed, and that her friends back at the hedge were probably becoming extremely anxious for her return. There was also the matter of impending doom that she knew would be coming through the boutique door at any minute. She was quite certain that when dusk and Blitz arrived, their faces would more than likely not be ones of support, but suspicion.
They know who I am. They'll take me in and join me for questions. They'll probably want me to squeal on my friends. And then tell them where the hedge is. And then we may be stuck here forever.
Hot breath cascaded down her neck as she felt an affectionate nuzzle work its way up her mane. Instantly, she found her eyes closing in bliss, as all her worries washed down the drain like used cooking water.
Oh, but it would be so worth it.
The two had spent some of their time after the Pegasus had left, simply standing there in the boutique, lips embracing. Somewhere along in there, Rarity had managed to give the offer of helping her male self with the preparation of dinner, which they had slowly, but eventually, gotten around to.
Hey there, love. Steamed broccoli with almondine?
Yes.
She tittered, leaning her head back to brush her cheek with his own.
One of my favorite dishes. My mother cooked it all the time back home. I suppose you could call it comfort food.
Amazing.
Elusive whispered as he stared into the eyes of his loved one in awe, not for the first time this evening.
My father used to cook the same. And judging by this, it seems our parents both used the same recipe. Oh, Rarity, the more I find out about you, the more of my heart becomes yours.
She silenced his monologue with yet another kiss.
Let doomsday come. Every second I have is another second with my love. My prince. My better self.
She heard a squeak of a door opening. Her eyes shot open in surprise as the thought of her time coming to an end too soon brought a chill of fright and regret through her spine.
Hey, big brother, I'm home.
Okay, so it wasn't the end of the world yet. But she now had to deal with yet another unforeseen circumstance that had not crossed her mind until right this very second. Silverbell. The white stallion broke contact with her lips, a smile on her face.
Welcome home, Silver. We're in the kitchen. There's some pony very special that I want you to meet.
Special?
The little lavender-haired colt questioned as his stubby legs trotted him right into the linoleum floor.
Did you find another princess, Elusive?
Silver's green eyes widened as he saw and recognized the white mare standing at the sink. She gave him back a nervous smile before winking at him.
Oh, gracious. I hope he doesn't say anything too unsettling.
Silverbell?
Elusive stated, taking a few steps towards his sibling.
This is Lady Rarity Umbrella. She is the most amazing unicorn that I have ever met in my life. Rarity?
He then turned back towards his female half.
This is my little brother, and the apple of my eye, Silverbell.
She trotted forward, her mind's eye filled with the image of the two brothers standing together. Instantly, she felt a heartache blossom in her chest as that image was reversed. In that moment, she realized what exactly had happened and what she had almost lost.
Silver.
She whispered, kneeling down in front of the little pony.
It is an honor to finally meet you.
The white colt stared for a second longer before remembering himself and returning the bow.
The honor is all mine, Miss Rarity. Are you...
His eyes flickered around the kitchen before settling back on her.
Are you helping my brother make dinner tonight?
Indeed I am.
She gave him a smile.
Broccoli almondine. And if it's okay with your brother...
She gave Elusive a knowing look before leaning forward.
Maple glazed carrots.
His eyes lit up in absolute delight, the sight of which made her heart both ache and sing.
Maple glazed carrots? Wow!
Silver cheered, the thought of his favorite dish ever being made for dinner tonight. He pranced for a second before running over to Elusive and rearing up on one of his forelegs.
Can we really have maple carrots, bro? Can we?
Of course, Silver. Tonight is a special night. I have no reason to see why we shouldn't.
His blue eyes directed themselves back at the mare as she fluttered her own sapphire orbs.
Yes, tonight is a very special night indeed. Now run along, hon. Get cleaned up. Dinner will be ready shortly.
Sure thing, Elusive.
The pale pony cheered before scampering out of the kitchen. He didn't want to be late for maple glazed carrots if he could possibly help it.
Ah, the youth of today.
Elusive grinned, watching his sibling depart.
So energetic, so happy. I remember a time when I was like...
As he turned back towards Rarity, he caught sight of her tear-stained face, eyes locked on the door that his brother had left through.
Rarity? Love?
He whispered, coming close to her, nuzzling once more.
What troubles you? You can tell me.
I have a sister. And I have a sister. It's hard. Seeing your brother just made me realize just a must I mention.
She then collapsed inwards, her face burying itself into the stallion's chest as he wrapped his hooves around her, comforting her.
Oh, Rarity.
He crooned, nuzzling her mane.
Oh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry.
Not good. You know that I need to make a choice.
A choice? Oh, my love.
He felt his heart clenching as he pulled her away long enough to look her in the face.
Is your sister in trouble? Oh, please tell me. Elusive will do his best to listen, to help in any way that he can.
Oh, love.
She gaped, again touched by the depths of his generosity.
It's complicated, my love. Believe me, I want to tell you everything. I truly do, but explaining would take all night, and we can't let maple glazed carrots cook that long, lest they turn to mush.
She was stalling, he knew, but he simply brought his lips close, kissing her on the forehead.
Another time then, my dearest. Don't feel as if you need to rush, but please do not keep it to yourself for so long.
You are my better half, and I am yours. Secrets between us, though we may have a few, will eventually pass. Remember, you have captured my heart, and all its contents are yours, and yours alone to see.
New tears began on Rarity's face before she flung her hooves around his neck and kissed him once more. Somewhere in the back, a kettle began to whistle. Dinner was eventually finished, the sun finishing its final descent over the horizon, as it was all plated. With 2 unicorns in the kitchen instead of 1, the whole thing came together rather quickly. Again, Elusive was amazed by Rarity's power or prowess, especially in the kitchen. Never once did she have to ask him where pots, pans, or condiments were located. It was like she had cooked in his kitchen before. Silverbill eventually rejoined them, descending down the stairs, his mane combed and prim. His eyes were wide too, as he witnessed for the first time the 2 elder unicorns locking lips as they levitated plates over to the table.
Oh my!
They continued to share their passion between each other, barely cognizant enough to put the plates on the table in the right order. At least, not nearly cognizant enough to notice that they were joined by a young colt seating himself right in front of them.
Big brother?
The pair gasped as they were caught by surprise, a mad blush going over both their faces.
Oh, Silver! Sorry about that. We didn't see.
Elusive? Miss Rarity? Are you two in love?
Out of the mouths of babes, it has been said. The pair of ponies stared blankly at him for a few seconds before softening their gazes and looking back at one another.
Yes, your brother and I are very much in love.
Now Silver's eyes grew wider, his green gaze locked on the mare.
Miss Rarity? Does that mean that you're going to become my big sister?
There it was. All of a sudden, she no longer saw a colt, but a filly sitting there, Sweetie Belle's face imploring at her.
What do you choose, big sister? Whose heart are you going to break?
As loud as the bells of death to her, she instantly felt the color drain from her pale face.
Oh, that must be Dustkin Blitz now.
Elusive saying, four hoofs wheeling in the air before he took off for the door. She remained shocked still, her mouth gaping like a fish as she watched her life flash before her eyes, as she watched the last few seconds of the most perfect moments of her existence tick away.
Elusive,
In the front room, she heard the door creak.
Hello there, my... Oh, I do apologize, ma'am. Welcome to Carousel Boutique. My name is Elusive. We're actually closed right now, but can I help you with anything?
Excuse me. My name is Grassy Grays. I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind if you'd happen to have seen my friend.
Fluttershy!
She found her hooves galloping towards the front room, past her male half as she zoomed to the door.
Fluttershy!
It was most definitely her standing at the door. Though the last time the white mare had checked, Fluttershy's coat was a butter yellow, not a pale green, and her mane was usually a vibrant pink instead of being a soaked, purple-tinged dew. To her, it looked as if some pony had taken her timid Pegasus friend and dipped her body into a vat of weak blue dye.
Oh, Rarity!
Her aqua eyes brightened at seeing her friend.
I was getting worried. We were supposed to go see the show earlier. Do you remember?
Oh, yes! I can't believe I've forgotten! Oh, can you ever forgive me? My dear Greenie.
Grassy.
Grassy? Oh, I apologize profusely. I just simply lost track of time. After I met...
She pulled Elusive close to her and traded nuzzles with him.
the stallion of my dreams!
At this, Grassy's gaze grew even wider.
Oh my! I'm so happy to hear that!
She cheered, her hooves clapping in joy. A rustle from the bushes next to her, however, put her back on track.
But yes, it's okay, Rarity. But we don't have much time left, you see?
She tilted her head and flicked her sight behind her, signaling her intention. Rarity nodded, keeping a straight face despite the jumble of mixed emotions that filled her head.
Of course, dear. Just give me a moment.
She then turned to lock eyes with her better half, her own face a vision of regret.
I'm so sorry, my love. I had completely forgotten about my prior engagement. Like I said earlier, I had no idea that destiny would happen here.
The tall unicorn smiled as he shook his mane.
It's all right, my dear. Do not worry for me. I well understand the value of keeping your words to a friend. Go on, Rarity. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Live the life.
Oh, Elusive! My life will never be quite the same without you. How will I manage? How will...
Her memory jogged.
Wait! Can I ask one more thing of you before I depart from your embrace?
Oh, Rarity. Anything. Ask, and it shall be yours.
It's unusual, but it's, well...
She looked down for a second before looking back up, a blush on her face.
Shampoo.
Elusive blinked.
Shampoo?
Lauren F. Formula 1563. Keratin B. Supplemented. Bread full body bounce and shine. I think you know the one.
His eyes brightened as his own personally preferred shampoo was mentioned.
Oh, I know the one. Be right back, my sweet.
He galloped off, the wind flowing through his mane, as a confused Silverbell trotted up to the door.
Oh, hi, Silver.
Fluttershy greeted, a smile on her face. The pony took a second to recognize her.
Wow! Your speciality must be camouflage. Hi there, Agent. I didn't catch your agent name.
I'm going by Grassy Grays right now. Don't tell any pony, okay?
With that, she gave a wink to the diminutive unicorn.
Ugh, how long are they gonna take?
Came a whisper from the bush next to the greener shy.
Hi, Agent D. Why are you disguised as a bush?
Hi, Squirt. I'm playing the high-speed escape vehicle tonight, so I gotta stay hidden.
Ooh, that sounds dangerous. Scooteroo always plays high-speed escape, even when we're not escaping from anything.
Rarity rolled her eyes at the conversation, mouth quirked in a smile as she retrieved her neck bag before her ears caught the sounds of rushing hoofsteps once more. Quickly, Elusive rejoined them, a bottle of mane soap floating at his side.
Here we are. Just as requested.
The ivory stallion breathed, the vessel floating over to her.
I should have guessed that my better half would have had exquisite taste in shampoo as well.
Nothing but the best.
She agreed, her horn lighting up as she took it into her own hold. A pained look came across her features as she trotted up to Elusive, quickly closing the distance between them.
My love, this is... goodbye.
Don't say that, my sweet.
He soothed, leaning his head in to touch noses with her.
Instead, let us say farewell, until we are reunited once more. Remember, my dearest Rarity, though we may be separated, know that my heart will always be yours.
As mine is yours. Oh, Elusive.
Oh, Rarity!
Once again, they embraced each other, lips meeting in one last, passionate kiss. From the door, Silverbell chuckled as Grassy Green brought her forehooves to her face and went.
Aww.
Beside her, the bush proceeded to make retching sounds. It did seem to take an awfully long time, but the two eventually disentangled themselves. Rarity turned, trotted quickly to the door, paused, and then quickly wrapped Silverbell in her hooves.
As far as I'm concerned, you're already my little brother.
She released him and galloped off into the night, a trail of tears streaming behind her. Fluttershy eeped and called after her, running in hot pursuit. Unseen, a Pegasus slipped out of the shrubbery and made a quick escape. Elusive and Silverbell stood at the door for a long while after the mares had gone out of sight.
I like her. She makes me think of Mom.
Yes, she does, doesn't she?
The stallion replied, a faraway cast to his eyes.
I am going to marry that mare, even if she never resurfaces in Ponyville again. I am going to track her down. I will move the heavens and the earth if that's what it takes. I'll even take to Prince Solaris himself if it would mean being reunited with my one true love.
Elusive.
Green eyes stared at him.
You're monologuing again.
And I meant every word of it.
He gave a nod to himself. A few more seconds passed before finally he let out a wistful sigh. His purple mane seemed to deflate.
Well, in the meantime, I suppose we should get back to dinner. The carrots have probably gone cold.
That's okay.
The young sibling assured, turning back inside.
What matters is that she helped cook it, right?
You're right!
The unicorn replied, as he turned around and closed the door.
She has left us both with her own offering of generosity. And it behooves us as gentlecoats to appreciate a lady's hard work and spirit. Come, Silver, let us enjoy the gift that Rarity has left us.
The brothers began trotting back to the kitchen, stomachs growling. Sadly, about halfway there, the door suddenly reverberated with a panicked staccato of pounding.
Oh, good heavens, what now?
Elusive griped as he pivoted on a hoof and trotted back.
Just a second!
He sat himself in front of the door and opened it right in time to...
Where is she?
Dustshine raggedly breathed in the suitmaker's face. He and the magician had never crossed horns literally before, but it was hard to ignore the clattering as their noses were quite pressed against one another.
Dusk!
He exclaimed, falling back on his haunches in surprise.
You've been running! Where were you? It must have been quite a distance.
No time for explanations!
Rainbow Blitz brayed, zooming into the shop proper.
Where's your mare friend? Dusk's been dying to meet her.
Blitz, now please, it would behoove a man to at least wipe his hooves before entering another's domain.
I've been flying this whole time. My hooves are clean. Your argument is invalid. Seriously, she is still here, right? I thought you were gonna treat us to dinner.
Yes! I've been looking forward to it.
Dusk added, his legs wobbling under Spines' snoozing weight as he walked inside. His stomach rumbled in agreement.
But not as much as meeting your true love. Can we speak with her?
Elusive gave a toss of the head before shaking his mane and shrugging.
My apologies, gentlecoats, but you've missed the lovely Lady Rarity Umbrella by a mere matter of minutes.
What? I thought I told you to keep her here till we got back!
Rainbow! I am a gentleman, and a true man of virtue would never keep a lady without against her will. I'm appalled that you would have me keep her as a prisoner in my shop.
Elusive, please.
Dusk piped up, his earlier wariness now banished.
This Rarity you're talking about, she's not a normal pony.
The white pony's eyes glazed over.
Oh, I would say not. She was a pure picture of divinity itself. That mane, those gorgeous eyes. Her nose was just the most delicate thing. And most astounding, her mind. A soul like hers I have never before seen in all my years. And I feel blessed to have finally met the one my heart has ached for. The mare of my dreams!
Told you it was bad.
That's a very enlightening description of her. She sounds like quite the catch. So why is she gone?
The soup maker shook himself out of his revelry.
Oh, I do apologize. Yes, it appeared that she had a prior obligation. A friend of hers came to my door, asking for her, and they left together.
Both ponies' heads picked up.
A friend? Can you describe them?
Oh! Well... She was a small mare, Pegasus, green coat, long mane that was a maroon tint, didn't catch her cutie mark, aqua blue eyes.
Blitz gave a confused look to Dusk.
Doesn't sound like any pony we've heard of.
Oh, and the most adorable voice. She was so timid and shy. I pinned her as a possible date for Butterscotch the moment she spoke.
Fluttershy, go ahead and look. I'll stay here.
Gotcha.
With a whoosh of wind, the rainbow pony was out the door. Elusive blinked at the sudden exit before rounding onto the magician.
Dusk? Just what is all this about? I get the feeling you're not here on account of my invitation to dinner.
While I would appreciate that, Elusive, there's a lot more going on here than you think. Tell me, did you get a good look at your date's cutie mark?
It was a pair of umbrellas.
Came the reply, his eyes closed in concentration.
Rarity is a maker of fine rainwear items, based outside of Philadelphia. She's shown me that she's quite adept at her craft.
I can imagine.
Dusk returned, his face taking on a serious expression. He turned his head back at the snoozing dragoness and took a moment to levitate her off his back onto a nearby pile of fabric before returning to his interrogation.
Elusive, tell me, doesn't the cutie mark vanishment spell leave behind a faint traceable PKE residue?
Now the white pony found himself on edge.
What do you mean, Dusk? I wasn't aware that you've been learning it.
I haven't,
came the reply as the lavender equine got to all fours, trotting into the shop interior, his horn aglow.
but I still can trace that residue. It's very distinct. And there's a bit of it distinctly on your stage.
Oh my. Well, mayhaps I was a bit rusty, trying it out again earlier today.
Elusive?
His purple eyes locked with the stallion's blue ones.
You knew. You're covering for her.
Oh, Dusk, please!
The normally tall and relaxed stallion suddenly collapsed, belly down on the floor, hooves begging at Dusk's feet.
She's not a bad pony! I can feel in her hearts of hearts, in my hearts of hearts, she has nothing but the most amazing qualities to her. She even helped make dinner. Broccoli almondine. No pony with a speck of evil intent would even know how to make the perfect broccoli almondine.
Lucy, get up.
Dusk's face was a picture of calm exasperation.
Let me tell you what's going on.
Sniffling, the white horse regained his footing as his ears perked up.
I haven't told all the guys this yet, until I know for certain. Until I do, I'm going to have to ask you to keep all this hush-hush for the moment. Clear? Good. It started 3 days ago, when Butterscotch came by my place to check out a book. Only, it wasn't Butterscotch. She looked like him, but was most certainly a mare. Later on, Butterscotch met her for himself, and from what I hear, he now has a crush on her.
Oh, how quaint! Butterscotch with a crush? I never thought I'd see the day.
I'm not done. The next day, there's a commotion in the skies of Ponyville. 2 rainbow trails, followed by a double rain boom. Later, Blitz comes to me and tells me that his house had been raided by a mare that looks just like him, even down to the cutie mark.
Really? Is that how he got that small bruise above his eye?
How did... Of course you would notice. But sorry, I am under the Bubbleberry swear to not divulge that information.
Oh, I see.
There was a quick, nervous glance around the premises for sponge buckets.
Well then, please continue.
Well, that brings us to today. Today, from what Blitz has described to me, you've had a customer who is a white unicorn just like you.
Well, that is true.
She has a purple mane, blue eyes, a penchant for the dramatic, and an eye for design. Just like you.
Now Elusive found himself backing up against a wall, as Dusk continued to speak.
Yes, so true. But you see...
And she knows the Cutie Mark Vanishment spell. Just like you.
Now, see here, Dusk. I think I can see where you're getting at. But honestly, it's all sounding to me like you've been hitting the science fiction section of your library a bit too hard.
A mouth was opened to retort, but it was then that Rainbow Blitz made his reappearance, hooves alighting on the carpet lazily.
No luck?
Dusk asked, a defeated look in his eyes. The vibrant mane shook from side to side.
Nope. Couldn't find a trace of them. They must have had that Philly faker with them.
His eyes grew stormy as the words left his mouth.
Philly faker? Really, Blitz? Such slang!
His own word for his double.
The unicorn dragged himself to the center of the boutique, looking rather haggard.
This is getting ridiculous. I've been out at the Everfree Forest all day today, looking to see if I could find their camp, and I've gotten nothing. Then, the one lead that we could have used to crack this case wide open slips through our hooves because our friend here is too much of a gentleman to keep her detained.
Now it was Elusive's turn to roll his eyes.
Please, Dusk. I'll admit, it all sounds rather... fantastic. But that's all it is. You don't really think that we're being invaded by duplicates now, do you? The whole thing is rather preposterous, if you ask me.
You saying Dusk is a liar?
The blue pony popped up in his face.
He's been busting his flank trying to find these creeps, and all you can do is go and fall in love with yourself. Literally!
I am saying no such thing. Dusk is as much as my friend as he is yours, Rainbow. But please think this through. If these are our clones or whatever, then what makes you think they really intend us harm? Do you know what their real plans are?
That's what we were hoping to find out.
The lavender stallion replied, his haunches seating themselves on the floor.
We could have asked your female self, politely I assure you, where she came from, and how many friends she had with her, what she was doing here, what she...
His stomach protested against any further action today.
If her cooking's really as good as you say it is...
Dinner is still on the table,
Elusive replied, looking over to the kitchen door. Silver looking at the three from inside the dining room.
But still, I insist that you join me. I shan't leave my friends to starve after all. And hopefully you believe me when I say, whether she's a double or not, I feel, in my heart of hearts, that she could never have been the type to plot anything dastardly against us.
The Pegasus gave a half-lidded look to his bookworm friend, but they dropped the subject. Even Blitz had to admit that all the flying today had given him an appetite. As the trio trotted into the back room, the young colt watched them go by. He knew where the mares were, but he didn't think they were evil swords. No pony who made his favorite maple-glazed carrots could have been bad. With a look of determination, Silver decided to keep his mouth shut for now. They would later all agree Rarity's cooking was out of this world.
Really? You could have told me this was food coloring. This is going to stain my coat something awful.
Oh, sorry, Rarity. But at least it's so natural.
Oh yes, heaven forbid you get artificial preservatives mixed up in your mane.
They alighted outside the hedge, Dash's wings flapping erratically. Flying at near supersonic speeds close to the ground where the cargo of two ponies had taken more out of the mare than she would have liked to admit. Slowly, the three made their way inside. Rarity was the first to enter, followed by Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash soon after. As the white mare left the incline, she found a pair of purple eyes drilling holes into her.
Rarity? Why?
She fidgeted at the words, trying to think up a suitable response.
I was curious, darling. Fluttershy has proven that love is possible between our worlds. And I knew that, well, because of myself, Twilight. I'm not afraid to admit that I felt my beauty and grace in our world would translate into ruggedness and gentle coldness in this one.
You should have seen them. They took hours saying goodbye. They even kissed.
It was really sweet.
Grassy Grace soothed, her green complexion graced with a smile. Applejack rolled her eyes.
It all sounds very romantic, Rarity. But still, I can't believe y'all went and did such a gall-darn foolish thing. Right under our noses. Rarity, we trusted you.
Now, ladies.
The dressmaker assured, her horn lighting up and opening her neck bag, producing the bottle of sunflower oil.
I swear, I did not forget you girls entirely. I got our needed item first. I just took a detour. An admittedly lengthy one, I'll admit. But I must confess, though you may speak to me badly of it, I do not think I could ever regret having met my...
Here, her eyes drew distant, as stars shone before her face.
My better half, my dream cult, the one who made me feel complete.
Unsettled looks were traded among the remaining 5 ponies.
Did you at least get your shampoo?
Rarity didn't even budge as the bottle of soap was levitated out as well. She gave it a long stare before bringing it close and rubbing her cheek against its surface.
I shall never part with it for as long as I live.
Holy horse apples, she got it bad.
Applejack stated, staring at the scene before turning to the magician.
Let's go ahead and get out of here before we all drown from all this sap.
Gotcha.
Twilight replied, taking the sunflower oil into her own hold, trotting over to the table and beginning the procedure from scratch. The white mare remained standing, still nuzzling the shampoo. She didn't notice when Dash walked up next to her, an accusing look on her face.
So, before we got there, you and Mr. Fabulous performed Aerial Maneuver 69, or what?
The unfamiliar parlance was enough to drag Rarity to the here and now.
Beg your pardon, Dash?
What she means
Applejack drawled, a sly smile on her face.
is, did you two go and have a tumble in the hay or not?
The unicorn was a bit more familiar with that term, as her face flushed red.
Applejack! I'll have you know it's not considered good gentlemanly behavior to accept a lady's virtue on the first night.
This drew a grin out of the other 2 mares. But before they could further press their friend, they were called by the purple pony from the corner.
Okay, girls, gather around. It's time to go home.
They all quickly surrounded the table. The flower laid next to the vase, the vessel itself half full of oil as Twilight dropped a red gemstone into its depths.
Dash, if you please.
The rainbow-maned one nodded, before extending a wing and preening at it. With a very subtle "ow," she then turned back with a feather in her mouth. Twilight took it and levitated it into the vase.
Okay, here goes.
The magician's horn began to glow in full force, a similar affluence surrounding the vase. Soon, the field extended outwards, enveloping all 6 mares.
Okay, I just need to find that ley line from before. If I can find that,
then I can get us all back home, and this whole nightmare will be over.
Inside her mind's eye, she saw not a spider web of cracks as she had expected, but instead something akin to a ball of dark matter yarn. There were hundreds upon thousands upon millions of ley lines. Ley lines that, she realized now, were actually timelines. Each thread was an alternate dimension. She just had to find the thread that was theirs. She tried to concentrate, but a fog was rolling in. Every thread looked the same to her. She tried to probe them, tried to get a feel for the contents. Surely there was one thread that had been slightly unraveled from their earlier journey. Desperate, she pinged the cosmos for an answer. No reply. Before she could redouble her efforts, she was suddenly tossed backwards, all her energy suddenly bouncing back from whence it came. She came to a split second later, eyes staring up at the dirt ceiling, her horn apparently embedded into one of the hedge's walls. Blinking, she then realized that her friends were surrounding her, looks of worry on their faces.
Twilight! Are you okay? You look like you just sang the Pony Pokey for 10 hours straight!
Twilight?
Applejack looked at her, fear on her face.
It didn't work, did it?
I'm okay.
The lavender mare replied, before prying her horn out of the dirt.
I'm fine. And the spell is working. I just need more energy. Yeah, I could see the timelines. I just couldn't find ours. I'll need a little more magic in order to locate the correct one. So, what you're saying...
Dash drew on, an indiscernible look taking over her features.
Is that we're still stuck here. Just for one more day, Dash. Tomorrow night will be it. I promise.
There were sighs all round before every pony bowed their heads in acceptance.
I guess I can try and see if I can repeat my one-off win against Pinkie Pie.
Oh yeah! That would be fun! I hardly ever never win!
The party pony cheered, her happiness recovering from the setback.
Twilight, you know there's always another option.
The magician turned to her timid yellow friend, eyes curious.
What do you mean, Fluttershy?
Well...
Her eyes dipped down, a hoof pawing at the floor.
You're the most powerful unicorn in all of Equestria. But if you alone can't do it, I mean, not that you can't, but, you know, just in case, there's another most powerful unicorn in all of Equestria.
Twilight felt that knot return in full force at those words. Her pupils began to shrink into dots as she attempted to stammer the name.
You mean I should meet with
She has a point, darling.
Rarity commented, coming up alongside Fluttershy.
You all know the wonders you're capable of performing by yourself. Just imagine how much you could accomplish if there were two of you working together.
No.
She flatly stated, shaking her head.
No, I can't. You weren't here earlier, Rarity. Dusk was outside all day today, looking for us. He wanted to find us, to ask us why we're here, to bring us out into the open. I just can't.
Twilight?
Now the apple farmer was walking forth.
Can't you just, explain everything to him? I know you. You're a pony of reason. There's no reason to assume that he isn't.
Now the unicorn was kneeling to the ground, looking up at those imploring eyes. Even Rainbow was looking at her with a pleading look, while Pinkie tilted her head, confused.
I know, and you're all probably right, but still.
She managed to straighten her head up.
I know I can do this without causing any more damage to this world. Just hang on a little longer, okay? You've all trusted me so far. All I'm asking you to do is to have faith in me. I can do this.
There was a few seconds of silence before murmurs of agreement were given.
If y'all say so, Twi.
Applejack relented, getting onto her feet.
I'm willing to trust you. Tomorrow it is, then.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Rainbow echoed, jumping and gliding to a far corner of the hedge, curling up as she landed.
You're still hoping, Twilight. Thanks, guys. Now, let's say we get some sleep, every pony.
More murmurs of agreement were voiced as the lamp was extinguished, and dark calm settled over the lot of them. Well, most of them. Twilight remained awake for a time, her heart at war with her mind.
It's not like it's not a good idea. It is. It's just that I don't think I can do it. This is just too much for me. I just can't. I'm scared of him. I'm scared of myself. It doesn't make sense, but I am. Whenever he's near, this darned lump in my throat surfaces. How did they all do it? How did they meet themselves without turning into piles of quivering goo? I just don't understand.
She groaned before tossing onto her other side.
Worrying won't do any good. I can get us back myself. Yeah, I can do that. Now get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be a long day.
Oh, Elusive.
Scratch that. This is going to be a long night.
To be continued. On the next Cross Narrow.
Phillies, we got a situation on our hooves. Dusk? Is he back?
It's not Dusk. It's worse.
Worse? What can be worse than a stallion who can't help poking his nose around where it don't belong?
Here, riddle me this. What's bouncy, bubbly, makes cupcakes for a living, more than likely has a pet alligator, is at least 6 kinds of pink, is known for being completely unpredictable, and hasn't met his female self yet?
I used to look upon myself as rational and strong, and love was just a word in silly songs. But from that cursed day when you crossed my way, all my confidence was gone. I'm bewitched, bewildered, and utterly alone. And something's telling me it always will be you until the end of my days. And in my dreams I see how I finally find a way to show you how I long for your touch, knowing I'd be asking for much to get to have you in my arms, in my life, if only for a while. But something's telling me I am but a fool, 'cause that beautiful face will as I fear. Some things are just never meant to be. Your love is not for me. I know too well I'm asking too much to get to have you in my arms, in my life, if only for one night. There's no need telling me I am but a fool, 'cause your beautiful face will not ever be smiling for me, and you won't say all those little words I am longing to hear, those whispers at night. But it's clear some things are just never meant to be. My fate is dreams of you and sheer fantasy.